Caught on camera, a security guard opens fire at a man as he drives away from a government building, hitting the car multiple times.
The driver survived, but now that driver is suing because he says the guard wasn't securing anything. He was actually putting lives at risk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Peeps, and today's video revolves around security guards who take things a bit too far and end their careers. Today I've got a wild story for you. Imagine this: a security guard, a raging man, and a few gunshots that turned everything upside down. So there's Esteban Acosta, furious about his child support payments. Surveillance cameras catch him storming out of the child support services building, hands up, with a security guard trailing him, gun drawn. Yeah, you heard that right. The guard's job was simple: make sure Acosta leaves the premises. But things took a sharp turn when Acosta got into his car. Instead of letting him drive away, the guard fired shots at him. Can you believe that? The guard claimed he was just trying to keep Acosta there until the cops arrived, hoping they'd arrest him for disorderly conduct. But here's the kicker: instead of Acosta being arrested, it was the guard who ended up in handcuffs. Yep, the guard got busted for endangerment and discharging a firearm within city limits. That's right, folks. The one supposed to be in charge of safety ended up being the one arrested. And of course, he lost his job and got sentenced to probation. This story just goes to show how quickly things can spiral out of control.
Esteban Acosta seen here with his hands up, leaving a child support services building in Tucson after raising his voice, records show. The security footage taken last March shows a security guard, Mahmoud Al-Muwali, following Acosta with his taser up. But what happens next?
You see him run across the parking lot chasing after him like an old gangster movie, shooting at the car as he's driving away.
Al-Muwali trades his taser for his gun and opens fire.
He was completely cooperating and trying to leave the facility. And sure enough, this guy then tries to kill him.
Police report said Al-Muwali fires at least 5 shots at Acosta's car, even as he's driving away.
That's far from providing security. That is the exact opposite of providing security. This guy was a menace.
Al-Muwali told officers he was trying to stop Acosta's car so police could arrive and arrest Acosta for disorderly conduct, records say. But Acosta's lawyer, Andy Rojas, now suing Al-Muwali, his employer, and the state in federal court.
My client has been suffering to this day, and he needs treatment, and he needs to be compensated for what they did to him.
Tucson police arrested Al-Muwali, who was formally charged with endangerment and discharging a firearm in city limits, both felony charges. Al-Muwali took a plea deal and is on probation, but Rojas wants to see him pay.
Thank God he wasn't trained how to fire straight, because he missed.
What do you think? Was the guard justified, or did he totally overreact?
A security guard is accused of impersonating a police officer after picking the wrong person to try and pull over on the interstate.
Our next security guard really gets himself into a pickle. This is one showdown you won't believe. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, a security guard decided to play cop for a day, but he picked the wrong target, a New Mexico State Police captain. The captain noticed something was off. The guard, with flashing lights and all, tried to control traffic, acting like he owned the road. But the captain wasn't buying it. He called for backup, and the real police arrived to handle this bizarre situation.
Police were called to assist a captain on November 4th who reported someone trying to pull him over on I-40.
He turns on all of his lights, blues in the front, reds in the back, just trying to control traffic, act like a cop.
But something felt off.
I go to move over because that may be BCSO. Yeah. And then once I go to pull over, he turns them all off. I was like, okay, this is...
State police talked with Ronald Portillo. The man claimed the captain never identified himself, then became argumentative over the captain's badge.
Well, you should have showed it, right? My truck. I told you to show it in your truck. You're on private property right now. Your driver's license. I'm not giving it you. I'm in charge of this right now.
Officers tried to place Portillo into custody.
Hey, knock it off.
You knock it off. No. Let go. I haven't done anything wrong.
Knock it off.
I haven't done anything wrong.
The wannabe cop got slapped with a misdemeanor citation for impersonating an officer. If convicted, he's looking at up to a year behind bars and a hefty fine.
The hill. I didn't light him up. I didn't do anything because I know that's against the law to pose as an officer. I'm a PPO for the state. I work for this company, and we're cleaning house here.
The captain went over to discuss the incident with the guard, who remained defiant.
So do you understand the plan? Now? Once you show me your badge? Well, not your badge. Right. Okay, correct. You're your state police now? Yes. But you didn't show that prior? I did. All right. Yeah. So we're good?
Portillo was given a misdemeanor citation for impersonating an officer and released.
So next time you see those flashing lights, make sure it's the real deal. And remember, some showdowns are better left to the professionals.
I completely felt like I was going to be killed. Everything did flash in front of me. Everything.
Captured on surveillance camera, security guard Seth Eklund points a gun at Sheriff Deputy Alan Gaston while the deputy on duty was visiting the Toledo IRS office.
Buckle up, because today's story sounds like it's ripped straight from a movie script. Imagine heading to the IRS office for a routine question and suddenly finding yourself staring down the barrel of a gun. That's exactly what happened to Deputy Gaston at the IRS office in Lucas County. Security cameras caught the whole intense encounter. Gaston, a defensive tactics instructor, came to ask a simple question, but things took a wild turn when security guard Seth Eklund, gun drawn, followed him to the elevator.
I completely felt like I was going to be killed. Everything did flash in front of me. Everything.
Captured on surveillance camera, security guard Seth Eklund points a gun at Sheriff Deputy Alan Gaston while the deputy on duty was visiting the Toledo IRS office.
Nobody's seen anything like this. You don't see a security guard pulling in on a fully uniformed officer pulling a gun.
The incident happened on May 31st. Gaston, a defensive tactics instructor, says he had questions about an IRS letter and was there to get a phone number.
He said, "You're going to have to take your gun and duty belt off." And I said, "Well, I can't do that." I said, "Do you have a gun locker where I can lock it in? I'd be willing to do that." And he said no, and I noticed that he was getting a little angry.
At that point, the sheriff deputy says he was asked to leave. In the meantime, an IRS employee threatened to call 911.
911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, we got a taxpayer at the IRS office at 433 North Summit that has a gun and he won't leave the premises.
Eklund then tells Gaston to take his hand off of his gun. In a police report, the deputy said only his forearm was resting against the gun because of his casual stance. Feeling uncomfortable, Gaston says he tried to leave, at which point the security guard tries to detain him.
He came around that corner with the gun out. "You better stop, you better stop. I swear to God, stop." And he goes into that position, which is this one right here. I'll never forget that position. And as I'm looking at him, I just need to get to the door. First and foremost, again, the civilians were very scared.
Now Gaston says he felt the best way to de-escalate was to walk away, which is probably easier said than done when there's a gun aimed at you. In the footage, you can see Eklund trying to take Gaston into custody with his finger dangerously close to the trigger. Talk about tense moments.
This security guard wanting to put cuffs on me and detain me, which is completely so far-fetched. I can't comprehend that he would think that. I felt like he didn't even see the uniform. Well, he saw was colored?
I believe he's a black male. He's heading downstairs now.
We have video of literally Deputy Gaston putting his hands up like this. We don't need to guess. So these comments in the 911 call in terms of not identifying a deputy sheriff being in the office, but a black man with a gun.
Gaston and his wife are now suing Eklund and the security company for emotional distress, psychological trauma, and lost wages. He's currently on medical leave trying to recover from this nightmare. Gaston had a strong message for Eklund, calling out his lack of training and the unacceptable leap to lethal force. This incident highlights the unpredictable nature of confrontations, even in places where you least expect them. It's a stark reminder that situations can escalate in an instant and the importance of proper training and restraint in high-pressure moments. Stay safe out there, peeps, and remember to keep your cool in challenging situations. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment to keep the conversation going, and smash that like and subscribe button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm push these videos out for others to enjoy and helps grow the channel. See you on the next one. Peeps out.